Right, so an opening meditative state, please. Yogis, the goal is to go into a different mind state than your normal morning mind. So a shift in your self-awareness, the pattern of your breath, the state of your body. So the goal, we don't have a busy morning and then start immediately in busy yoga. Then calming, centering, grounding. Once the body is settled and the mind starts to shift inward, maybe connecting to your breath. I've often said that's one of my favorite ways to establish a more present mind state where I'm in the moment, watching the breath rise on the inhale, watching the breath fall on the exhale. If you'd like to do your own little mantra practice or remember, setting your intentions, which means remembering your goals, having your thoughts and inner vision, imagination, visualization align with your goals. So you already kind of see your goals happening for a moment and then almost feel like they've happened, whether that's you being stronger, healthier, happier, more wealthy, less stressed. You see yourself in the way you desire. Maybe closing it up with a couple really deep breaths. Remember, Tuesday Yoga Core, we had that focus of holding the breath on either the inhale or the exhale and really squeezing our pelvic floor up, pulling our belly in, holding that intra-abdominal, the abdominal pelvic floor pressure, squeezing in and creating that memory of kind of hugged in, strong core. So just a reminder, that's kind of something I'm always working on, okay? When you're ready, yogis, let's get going here in a little bit more of the physical body. Let's get to our tabletop position. Couple cat cows always do you good. Remember that repetitive movement through the spinal column, the lower back. I'm just gonna give you like 30 seconds here. You can add wrists. Remember, we did it on the forearms earlier this week to kind of throw a little curveball at you. It's a little different, right? A little bit more restricted, maybe, a little bit different stretch, possibly. Okay, so cat-cow tends to be kind of forward and back, but again, the circular or adding a little wrist. So remember, kind of today's classic Hatha yoga, I do want to do a little bit of movement here to, let's say, move your energy or warm you up. Blood flow, okay? Down dog will be next, yogi. So it's a classic start, meditation, energy movement through the spinal column. And then inversion, right? Loosening up the feet, still getting information about the body, not necessarily like pushing anything just yet. I've been trying to use Thursdays to do a little like sun salutations, the 1 day a week where we focus on that. All right, so if you want to do the Surya Namaskara A with the Anjana, or you just want to keep it Ashtanga or knees, chest, chin, pranam, there's a lot of ways to do it. All right, let's walk our feet to the front of our mat. And traditionally in the Hatha yoga, we're going to do about 5 rounds, okay? We're going to inhale, half lift. Remember, for more yogis, you can even reach your arms back if you're ready. Okay. Exhale, you can kind of pull on your heels a little bit more. It depends on how you're feeling. Notice my knees are bent, right? Inhale, I'm gonna rise up. And then exhale, I take that first kind of strong standing posture, still kind of in fundamental areas. Inhale, we're gonna reach it up. You know, I like to lean back a little bit, feel that tension through the front hip flexors. Exhale, we're gonna forward fold. I'm moving slow. Pretty sore today, okay? Inhale, I'm gonna half lift. Plank pose, going through some basics, yogis. Make it your own, please. I'm gonna pause for a moment in that first plank. If I was a little tired, I might drop to the knees. I might take a few extra push-ups. So we're warming up. You're welcome to change this up, okay? I'm taking it down to the chest, getting my first cobra going here. I tend to do a little gentle or active cobra, and then I'll bring it into stretch cobra. I do both a little here in this first round. Okay, then I come back to that down dog, take a breath or two, maybe push a little bit stronger into the pose, lifting the sit bones up and back, engaging my thighs, pressing my palms down. So each round is kind of building off the previous, right? And then after another breath, I'll inhale, bend the knees, look forward. I'm gonna hop or step forward, just kind of basics. Let's get flowing now. Inhale, half lift our Ardha Uttanasana. Keep going with the breathing. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, nice and slow. We're gonna stand up, reach up, stretch up, and then exhale, hands to prayer. Everyone knows this. Go on your own if you can, please. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, that means arms up. Exhale is the forward fold to the Uttanasana. Inhale is the half lift. High plank and low plank, maybe some extra push-ups for that upper body strength. I like to say, if you got music, maybe you turn it up, you got your little speaker next to you, and you kind of flow through this a few times, get a little enthusiasm, a little passion, a little fire going. And it's sun salutation, right? Like sun. The yogis are all about like the light body, right? The electrical light sound body. We have this like energetic body. Sun salutation, there it is. Solar management. We're managing the energy within us through movement and breathing and activating and opening energy channels, stretching. So think, sometimes I like to like go into sun flow and picture myself as an energy being and try to feel that aspect of me. A little bit more like philosophical approach towards your practice. And when you think of the sun salutation, right? Another little thing we think about is the earth goes around the sun, right? It's always at this kind of consistent speed. It's not like flopping around. It's nice and smooth, and that's what's created the conditions for harmony on planet Earth. So the consistent speed, right? Even though it's fast, it seems slow, right? And it's consistent, one speed through all those different movements. So where you're going too fast, you might slow down, or where you go too slow, you might speed up, right? Just some food for thought, like how you're moving your body, why you're moving it in that way. Okay, another round or two, please. Then we're gonna switch it up a good amount, okay? We're gonna add chairs and lunges. We're gonna add a little kind of micro flow, pausing some of our traditional poses done in a different way. Nice, yeah. If you're feeling good, guys, go right for a big pose. Don't wait. You do your handstand or your headstand early some days. But if today's not your day, you add a little extra child pose or pigeon. If you missed our beginning, we did child pose. Looking good. Everyone's still going. I'll give you another minute. Don't want to go too long here. I want to get you going on the next level. right, so there's your nice heavy dose once a week for those sun salutations. Okay, now we're going to meet up in posture here, yogis, and what I'm going to do is take you through this kind of flow, let's call it, a few times. The first time the slowest with the most pauses, the last time as one big fluid movement. I'm not going to obsess over linking breath with movement because we all can kind of move on our own pace, pause where we need extra work. You might want your blocks in front of you, let's say kind of on the corners of your mat. They're in reach, okay? Now, some of you are already adding this pose, but can't do too many of them. So I'll meet you in standing, come back to your intention, come back to your breathing. A big part of yoga is after we build a lot of energy, we harness it. We become present again once we're very stimulated. It always returns to meditative presence, mindful intention, whatever you want to call it, okay? First posture is the chair. So I bend those knees, take a couple breaths, not going to hold you here long. So get nice and deep, work on your form. The belly is pulling in. The pelvic floor is lifting, that perineum, even Kegel exercises. Those are subtle yogis, and it takes a lot of self-discipline to remember and apply those. That squeezing of the pelvic floor, okay? That's key. Okay, big inhale, right to the second posture. You can bring your hands on your hips. We'll just slow it down. Left leg goes back. I'm going to call this gentle warrior 3. My left leg is hovering. My left hip is down. You can go full warrior 3. We've already done half hinge a lot if you're ready, but it's not really a main focus right now. Okay. The next posture I want to see is the lunge. All right, let's get our first lunge. If you're ready, you can go warrior 1, but you'll get time to go there later. All right, arms can go back up. Come on, work that lunge now. Front leg's gonna straighten. Back foot might step in, and now back heel seals. Pyramid. Right hip back, just staying with simple arms. Up and down my side. Roll the shoulders back and down. Big inhale, please. You're more than welcome to go up and down a few times. We kind of just did that, but you're more than welcome. Eventually, maybe hands on blocks. But yogis, let's engage those legs. Right hip back. Big toes pressed down. Start to forward fold, farther over the leg. We haven't been doing pyramid that much lately. If we tend to be really tight here, you do a lot of leg exercise, then you can be a little, let's say, lazier in the legs and allow the stretch to kind of be heavy. But if you know your legs really aren't strong enough, guys, if yoga is your main like leg exercise thing, more activity in those legs, please. Okay, go slow, guys. Bend the front knee, maybe slide your back foot back and twist. Right arm high. Now, I will say if you want to straighten your right leg here, we'll use these postures as interchangeable today. So you notice I bent it and I straightened it, okay? So I could have just stayed in revolved triangle or in pyramid and went to revolved triangle. That's an option for when we go through again. Maybe sometimes you bend the knee, sometimes you keep it more straight. I'm allowing you to make choices, yogis, okay? Big inhale, right hand down, back heel seals, left arm up. Same thing, you could stay with straight leg. Some rounds, because we'll go through this a couple times, all right, a few times. This is called side angle, and this is triangle, very similar. Last moments here. Pressing the outer edges of my feet down. It's like warrior 2. Big inhale. Left hand down. Left foot steps forward. Chair position. So it's just an upright flow, yogis. Think of this here as that kind of neutralizing moment. This is more like a forward bend at the hip flexors, back bend in the spine. So a nice chair posture. Let's say second round of the chair hold. Gotta work those legs, yogis. Think of this as a work pose. I like that. It's called fierce pose in yoga. I like to call it work pose. Okay? Now here's where you get a little break on those arms. Hands can go on hips. You can lift a little, right leg goes back. Remember I called it like gentle warrior 3. But if you're ready, you go a little further, right? But make it, you got time. I'm pointing my back toe. I said this earlier, yogis never really point the toe enough. So how about we notice that and do it different? We always flex the foot. That's creating a pattern. Let's do the opposite action. Right foot at the back of your mat if you're not there yet. Let's get our lunge going. Now, again, you can start with the crescent. Allows you to lunge a little deeper, stretch your toes. Okay, get into that strength, arms back up. Hatha yoga, remember a little slower in general. So these are all fundamentals, but kind of putting them together in stamina and sequence makes them difficult. All right, now listen, straighten both legs more. You might step your back foot in a tiny bit. You might seal the back heel. You might bring your hands on your hips. You have time to go arms up later. And then you're going to forward fold here, pyramid. Hands might find your blocks. Remember, whatever leg is forward, that hip wants to pull back a little bit. Don't forget our pelvic floor, pressing our big toes down, our abdomen's lengthening. Maybe you start to forward fold a little further. I like to suggest some breaths kind of, a third of the way down, half of the way down. So there's a different pose. Each time you move a little further down, it's almost like different, right? A combination of activation, strength with flexibility and release. Now we're still on the first side, so I'm approaching it the same, all right? We will go a tiny bit faster next time through. So we're gonna bend the front knee. You might slide your back foot back, and we're gonna twist. Right hand probably stays down inside that left foot to start. Left arm goes up. You guys know our revolved side angle? Used in both classic yogas and biomechanic exercise physiology. All right, so you work here, back to lunge. I did give you a break though, right? I gave you the straight leg hinge. Now you're in the lunge again. Okay, now that's revolve side angle. So how about we do our open hip side angle? Back heel seals if it's not, yeah, right? And then the left hand goes outside the left foot on that second block and the right arm goes up. You turn your chest up to the right. So both of our side angles, very classic yoga here. Lengthen the bottom left side body, push the knee into the arm into the knee. I have the arm to the sky, but you can always add more if you're ready. I'll mention those next time through. Ooh, nice half bind is always good. So we're in side angle or a triangle. We have all regulars today, so I'm like kind of mentioning more options. There's just not a best way, yogi. Some people need straight leg more. Some people need bent leg more. Bent usually is more strengthening for the legs. Straight leg is more like pelvic tilt, core stretch. Tends to be, okay? Top hand down, boom. Right foot forward, inhale, chair. Let's go, guys. Chair pose. Hands on the hips. Left foot goes back and hovers. Let's say warrior 3. That's straight leg. You get the straight leg between the bent knees, right? Lunge or warrior 1. Pyramid, right leg straightens. Again, the more you're doing this, the better you're aware of your positions, okay? Pyramid. Revolve, that's the twist. I'm gonna keep the right leg straight now for demo. Revolve triangle. So you can work in it, yogi, so it's not a long hold. Now, this is a tough one for some of us. Into revolve, open hip triangle. Back heel sealed, left arm up. hand down, front knee bends, chair position. So that's the symmetry right after the big open hip, the revolve, the big rotated hips. Boom, neutral, right? The other neutral is basically our warrior three. It's a little bit more of that hip extension. Hands on the hips, lift a little bit, right leg goes back, warrior three. Lunge, right foot at the back of the mat. Pyramid, back foot steps in, back heel seals, feet hips with distance, front leg straightens more. Look at micro bend, right? I'm micro bending because I ran really far the last 2 out of 3 days and my legs are all sore. So you're in your pyramid. You might inhale half lift a little bit. Left arm goes to the sky, whether you bend the front knee or keep it straight. I'll let you decide today because they're both beginner poses. What do you need? Yogis, we are practicing trusting our instincts, not just following me blindly, okay? I want you to make choices. Create that practice, okay? Right arm to the sky, our optional open hip side angle or triangle. Nice, Brian, nice, Leslie. So we were in the revolve first, so we were turning to the left, and now we're opening to the right. Yeah, there it is, nice, Stephen. Okay, again, top hand down, chair pose. One tick faster now, chair pose, step the back foot forward, find your chair. So first foot's gonna hover, left foot, lift a little, warrior three. Left foot goes back. Again, it can be gentle warrior three, right? Doesn't need to be deep to be good. Okay, lunge, left foot at the back of the mat, maybe warrior one. Now you can start to add things, yogis, okay? Front leg straightens, maybe reverse prayer today, or hands bind behind the back. This would be our basic. More challenging is fists, or even arms up the back, palms together, full reverse prayer. Pyramid, hinge. Revolve, either bent knee or straight. So I twist to the right, okay? Right hand down, twist to the left, triangular side angle. I'm showing extended version now. Chest down, chair, back foot forward, a little bit faster. We're just kind of repeating today a little bit more. Remember, that's kind of a Hatha yoga thing. Chair pose. Now, warrior three, right foot goes back and up. Okay, lunge, right foot at the back of the mat. No rush if you're having fun there. Somebody is going to standing splits. That's beautiful. I won't mention all options. Okay, so get that lunge going. It's kind of like a sun B, right? We're just not going down for chaturangas. Okay, pyramid pose, front leg straightens. Don't forget, you can throw your hands behind your back for this one, so it's more strengthening, either in Sushumna or reverse prayer. Okay, then you're gonna hinge over that leg. I just do so much yoga, I tend to now not go into hyper ranges as much. Okay, revolved. So if my left leg is forward, I'm gonna turn my core to the left, whether the front knee is bent or not, that's up to you. Okay, revolve, it's the open hip, so top hand down. If my left leg is forward, I'm going to turn to the right, making it a triangle or side angle. This is going to be our last round for time's sake here. I'd like to go through a few more times, but. Okay, now go slow, top hand down, chair position, step forward. And before we get into back bends, you're in chair pose. Take it down on the chest and the thighs. This could be an opportunity for an arm balance, inversion. I'm gonna try to focus on inversions and arm balances too on Thursday, right? Hands plant,
crow, kakasana, or vinyasa chaturanga, kind of resetting your palate. Big toes touch, heels pull up, arms work on straightening. You can take it back through, maybe a quick child pose, a cat-cow. Nice job with your lunges, your warrior three, your chairs. All right, so that's done. That's still quite linear, still quite, structured. So we're gonna get to that next tier of practice, a little bit more dancey, let's call it. We gotta go a little bit more back bendy, okay? So I'm gonna start demoing. Some of you are having fun with your arm balances there. Take your time. You can arm balance this whole time. You can skip the camel flow if you want. I'm gonna have my blocks in my hands to make my arms a little bit longer, okay? It looks like this, yogis. If you want really basic, you could kind of lift up into camel and then drop the butt to the heels a few times. You could even go to child pose. That's more like hyper ranges, okay? Let's get into this camel flow now. I want a little bit more maybe, right? Right arm across. I'm gonna remind you, this is like flip dog, right? That back hand is down, top arm reaches up and over. You're gonna feel a big side body stretch. I'm gonna slowly bring the hips down. Right hand goes back, kind of outside behind the right foot. Left arm goes up and over, across, kind of pausing. And then I can get into it more as I loosen up, kind of go down, make it more core. Left arm across, up and over. I can even do the big circle. See how I start to circle the top arm in range, and I put the left hand down, and I go all the way around to the other side. I'm gonna try to let you do this for a good minute or so, and not just do a linear back bend, hip extension, but even work on, going into the side a little bit in the back bend. And then moving kind of through that space to the other side, okay? Be easy. This is a very big movement, okay? Remember, chair. The only time we went, the lunge, and they're not too many big hip extensions yet, right? So we do that now. Some days maybe you just need to hold a couple sets of camel. That's fine. We got all regular, so I'm raising the bar a little bit in the demand. But maybe just doing a couple rounds of slow camel is better for you today. You don't worry about the fancy moving dance type. Looks good, everyone. It's also a big chest stretch. Just notice that when those hands are back, really opening up the postural form of the shoulders. Okay, last moments here. Some people still going. So the first objective, right, was the sunset meditation, but first physical objective a little bit more was the big movement, blood flow, up, down, forward, back, build heat. And then it was asymmetries, right? Lunges, squats, hinges more. You know that drill, but it's all stiff and linear. Now it's kind of like, let's move a lot more, free up space that we're kind of not comfortable in movement. Look for those in between spots. Okay. Now we would go like peak strength. If you're breaking down an exercise routine and it's kind of different sections, okay? So I'm going to give some options. Now it's tight. That was loosening, that was moving, now it's tight, okay? Down dog would be next, okay? It's been a while since we've been there. Forward bend after the back bend. So side plank, you can't really beat, it's really high yield, it's hips, it's core, it's arms. If you can do something like handstand or headstand again, that's really fun. And if you have the energy, the light beam, that's yoga is based off the light chakras, right? The energy centers, and
the energy is coming actually down, up. And when the energy, philosophical today, I guess, the inversion quality helps move the energy to the higher chakras, right? Some people say you have 7 chakras, that's in your body. The yogis actually believe you can actually manifest infinite chakras. And that actually has to do with our DNA that yogis talk about, but we won't go too deep there. The inversions are key in yoga for the evolution, the moving of the energy to the higher centers. Okay, when the energy is blocked in the lower centers, we tend to have a lot of fear or insecurity, like not have self-acceptance, 2nd chakra. The ego, having to prove oneself, that's 3rd chakra, materialism and obsessed with power. And then you finally get into that love chakra, but it even goes higher, right? And the inversions are said to help move that energy. So I went off on a little spiel there, but we're trying to go max weight bearing, kind of core arms, side plank. It's hard to beat it. All right. So a couple rounds in side plank or handstand, headstand hold. Another phenomenal one would be our dolphin pose. So I'm keeping it kind of basic, but I often like to say, which is the one you don't want to do. That's relatively doable for you. Handstand might not be doable. So dolphin, and you lift one leg up there. We haven't done our 3-legged dog. You can lift a leg there. So I want to give you another minute or minute and a half here. If you're doing side plank, you get 2 rounds in. Ooh, nicely. A little flip dog, little moving of the top leg and side plank is awesome. So a little free time here, yogis. Yeah, push-ups are fine. That's totally nice, Brian. Hop up on that wall. Ooh, nice, Stephen. Little movement there. The yogis say that your 8th chakra is like a foot or 3 above your head. Everyone's chakras are in different places, right? Depending on your energy body. The 9th chakra is it's 12 to 30 feet above your head. It's like an antenna, right? The energy line, the laser pole, the light beam. Your 10th chakra is actually in the solar system somewhere. Your 11th is galactic. Your 12th is universal. Your 12th chakra is your energy center that you and other people actually are connected to. Yoga means union. They're all connected. Energy points, portals. And the yogis believe that your 12th chakra, some of the meditators who sat in a cave for their whole life said that they connected to this and saw it clearly. Your 12th chakra, that's all we can manifest right now. That actually goes multidimensional, they say. But the 12th chakra is somewhere deep out in the universe. And it's actually how you can travel. It's through the chakras that we can travel our consciousness and our being through the galaxy instantly. And through the universe instantly, the 12th chakra, once you can connect. I'm going way philosophical out here today, so we'll just run with it. So listen, yogis, we want to stand back up one more time, right? We want to hit the legs one more time. The first was the sun salutation. The second was the lunges, the hinges. But now we want to kind of peak demand on the legs. All right. So we're going to stand up when you're ready, please. And open up to the side. And I'm going to use warrior 2. It is really a phenomenal posture that I don't teach enough of. It takes care of abduction, adduction, all 3 planes of movement, right? Let's widen our feet. Let's open up, get that nice warrior 3 hold in. I'll make you do 1 round, but I'm going to be sneaky because we're going to do 2 rounds, really, 1 with the hinge. All right? Arms go to the T now, because most of us probably, a lot of us were doing arms overhead. Boom. This is different than warrior 2 arms. Looks similar, right? All right, get that warrior 2 and a little bit more of a meditation.
Outer edge of feet press down. Pelvic floor squeezing. Squeeze the legs together. Pull the belly, lift. Gaze over the front arm. Get your neck rotation in. Looks good, yogi. Just bend that front knee. This has to be, you're choosing the intensity and trying to exist and survive in that intensity by using your breath. What do the yogis say? You start to create inside a process where things get difficult in physical world that you can go to calm your mind and body, to be that calm, happy person when things are tough outside. So what did Yogananda say? You're creating a paradise inside that you can go to at any time, a portable paradise. Okay. So let's slowly switch sides. Looks like some of you are quitting, so I'll move forward. I'm going to get you right on that second side. Keep the stimulation high right now. Nice wide stance, yogis. Don't let those legs get too close together. That's a common thing people do. You try to make it easier. We're trying to choose the difficulty now. All right, close your eyes now. Focus on your breathing and the subtle body awareness. Activation, about 1 minute. And a slight tuck of the tailbone, especially if you see that arch in your lower back. Shoulders kind of back and down. Another thing we look out for is the front knee caving inward, right? So if your left knee's bent here, that left knee turns kind of out and stacks over the heel. Your back hip can turn in. So that's an internal rotation in the back straight leg. It's an external more rotation in the front hip. It's a really cool pose like that. Because one knee's bent, one leg is straight, one's adducting more, one's abducting. Really cool. So I did say I'm going to be sneaky and sneak in one more round to change it up. Power poses here, the warriors, okay? Some of you are quitting. Meet me back in straddle, maybe shake it out a little bit. You know, we did our camel movement, but that's still kind of stiff. The bent knee triangle. This is a very strengthening posture. I want you to think warrior two, okay? Get back into the first side. So 1 round only. So go to your peak intensity of mind and body. I need a nice long stride. Now just watch what I do. I lengthen out. My right hand goes down. My left arm goes up. Now, I'm not resting here. That is not strength, okay? It's hovering. My right hand is hovering about 1 inch or 6 from the big toe. I do push my knee open and my knee back into my arm. I did say that earlier in the side angle, but this is a pure form strength now. Extra focus here today, okay? I turn my chest up, tuck my tailbone, look up to the top hand. So it's like you're looking at your back hand now. Couple more breaths. It should be like really intense, especially most likely on that front leg, yogis, because you're leaning over it. Has to be peak strength moment, peak, let's call it craziness in your mind. Okay, now we may hold it long. I won't hold it long because I know you're working hard. All right, you come up. Ooh, you have to shake it out. If you're doing this right, it's kind of like, wow, it's intense for the mind and body. Warrior two, final side here. Left toes out, right leg straightens, left knee bends, left arm down, right arm up, lengthen out, and then reach your left hand towards your left big toe, right arm to the sky, look up at the right hand. So it's another round of rotation for the neck. It's all strength, yogis. Bent knee triangle, it's called. Looks good, yogis. Don't, you gotta lengthen that left side body. A lot of you are, you get in bad posture and you round your spine to the front. A lot of us are doing bad posture. You're rounding your side, your side body too much, okay? So if I could give you the demo just quick, you know, you guys know that this is bad posture. And you don't want to do that too much unintentionally. It creates that pattern memory in the body. So a lot of these are like this in this pose. You're like this. It's not good, yogis. Long side bodies, long side bodies, long side. Look at that. It's long. It's not here. I know it's a very difficult posture. We don't do it too much. Okay, I'm breaking it out here. I mean, and we already did side angles a lot to prep, right? The supported versions. You know, you get into this thing, you're creating that memory. Body's going to be like this more. Okay, we side bend a lot. We're just not doing a lot of hyperlaterals today. We're doing that neutral laterals. Okay, side plank, side angles. Okay, looks like a lot of you are done. How about we do one more balance? Can I do a different balance for you today? It's pretty stretchy. It's pretty simple now. Go like this a little bit. If you want to do eagle, if you want to do standing here, if you want to do figure four, awesome. Do your own balance. I don't mind. I don't teach this stuff enough either. It's really hard on the body. Half lotus. Special hip stretch for you today. It is beginner. The way we're doing it, your hips are in flexion. If you're ever going to do it, it's right here. Okay? Left knee lifts. Tree. Heel up inside near the groin, pelvic floor. The key is to keep the knee joint close. Some of us might just do our nice tree today. Or right hand. I'm doing left leg up first, yogis. Left leg up first because the standing leg is our main focus. Okay? I'm going to pull. The knee joint stays close. See that? Can't get my fingers in there. The left heel up the right front hip, right hand, knee opens. My right hand grabs my left foot. It's a beginner pose, a little bit different for you today. You can put half prayer in. Now, I want to hold the foot and tuck my tailbone, push my hips forward, lift my chest. You could go one arm out. Now, if you can actively push your foot into your thigh and it won't slide, you can go both arms up. Most of us, I'd say, keep holding the foot. Last moments here, one round only. We do things like forward fold here. We do things like toe balance and arm balance here. But I'm going to stay in the upright hip stretch and balance position. I don't teach lotus enough either, right? You know, I'm always trying to look for holes in how I instruct my patterns. Okay. Left foot down, shake that leg out a little bit. Always good to do this. If your back's feeling it, you know, kind of a little standing cat-cow. Standing twist. Last side here, right knee lifts. Tree. Seal that knee joint. Some of us, left hand, outer, top, right foot. Knee opens. That right foot's on the left hip, okay? Couple breaths. So remember, active, turning things, strengthening all range of motions, yogis, strengthening all movements. This is one that took a lot of practice to learn to push that foot into the thigh so it doesn't slip. All right? Last moments. Remember, if you're new and you don't do this that much in my classes, it is probably better just to hold that foot and work on some activation with that like handheld assist. You don't need to like rush toward not holding it. It's totally fine to always hold the foot. All right, so we're done with standing yoga. If you want to do a couple calf raises or anything, or a sun salutation to make your way down, a yogi squat might feel good too, right? Kind of bringing it down into that deep squat. We did chair today. No skandasana, no straddle forward fold. Our straddles were in lunge form, triangle form, okay? So if you want to do one quick ab thing here, yogis, a boat or, you know, your choice. But, you know, we didn't really hold much planks today. So maybe curling here. More basic is head on the floor, legs forward and lever. Pulling the lower back down. Maybe a little bit of a movement. So I'm just kind of saying like one core exercise here. stronger is double lever, double hollow, which means hips and shoulders lift. Double lever, double hollow. Okay? So let me give you one more minute. I am going to stick with some basic back bends today here. We are at the end of active practice. I'm going to do this and, maybe 2 to 3 rounds of either bridge. We did camel. So no locust. I want a strong back bend to end, bridge or wheel, or up table or up plank. Now, the way we're going to build those strong abs is to consistently stimulate them. That's the memory, repeated, stress on the muscle. So we'll try to get one of those in each class, at least one, right? For those isolated abs, plank really isn't going to stimulate the abs that well. Okay, so let's go here, guys. Final back bend. So a classic yoga ending here. You get to work on your back body activation, glutes, hamstrings, lower back. So we did our camels, cobras, lunges, warrior 3. Let's go big here now, okay? Bridge, one-legged bridge if you're feeling good. Wheel if you're feeling great. You know what to do. Everyone knows the practice. Last big moments after this, we unwind. 2 minutes or so, okay? 2 to 3 minutes. Remember, wheel, it is better to start with your feet wide. I did show in the past putting blocks against the wall. That's key. If the shoulder is the limiting factor and you want to work towards wheel, you don't have to push down. You can push back more. Okay. Bridge it's not very high yield exercise, yogis. It's not going to really make you strong. It's going to make you release your hip flexors and, let's say, maintain a certain amount of strength. It's not really a growth exercise, bridge. It's a therapeutic, it's a maintenance, it's a rehab. It's not high yield. Wheel, extremely high yielding. It means it will change your body fast. Usually high yield is a little bit more risk too, right? One-legged bridge, much more yield, body change than just regular bridge. Reverse plank, very high yield. So I'm thinking on good days, we choose high yield exercises. That's why I often said, if you just run up a hill, it's max high yield. If you sprint up a hill, your body will change too fast. For muscle growth in the legs, it doesn't get better than running uphill, basically. Max yield, squatting heavy weight is very, very high yield. Running upstairs. Picking up very heavy weights and going for a nice long walk with them. Grocery store, very high yield. Bridge is maintenance. We can't just always do regular bridge, okay? Give you another minute and a half. Back body exercise, please. Back body exercise. After this, we'll get a nice stretch or two. Nice, everyone. Some of you look done. Some of you still going. Another 45 seconds. Elbows in and wheel. Either pose, your core is lengthening, pelvic floor, belly in. Big toes are pressing down. That's a pronated position. We always want to have intention in our feet, not just kind of letting positions pull them unintentionally into spaces. How we use our feet in a lot of poses can avoid injury, make us feel stronger, have better stamina. Okay. Nice, little headstand. So I was going to think stretch, yogis. We did
pyramid, 20, a lot of time. We're done there. We don't need to do hamstrings. Did optional triangles, so we don't really need to do that either. And I think maybe a pigeon today, if we haven't been doing that much. So after doing bridges too, or strong glute, that's going to be nice. So laying on your back now, doing our figure 4 Gomukhasana, that is a style of angled hip stretching, right? You can stay there, or we're going to rock forward and back and meet up and seated. And I'll do a pigeon into seated spinal twist, or you can do figure 4 into reclining spinal twist, kind of our classic ending, right? Outer hip stretch. So right shin forward. Another good one could be like a quad stretch. Lay on your chest, reach back, or lay on your side, reach back, Virasana. But I'm going to bring it down to pigeon here. A nice little add-on could be thread the needle for our shoulder stretch. Left arm underneath, right armpit if my right knee is forward. So we're just holding a nice hip stretch of choice, yogis. Remember that posture is like warrior 2, side angle. They all open that hip actively here. So this is a stretch for those muscles. Pigeon is bringing the leg across here, whereas warrior 2 is activating it out as much as possible here. And then the pigeon goes across like that. So it is the stretch to the warrior 2. That's why a lot of teachers teach it at the end, because they'll get into warrior 2s a lot, side angles. Okay, now listen, I'm going to take it right into a twist, yogi. So if you're in the pigeon here, I'm just going to lift up, lean to the right, and swing my left foot around. Remember, these two go together, but it's actually opposite hip here, right? I keep my bottom foot in pigeon. And I'm going to twist to the left. Biggest twist of class, yogis. We haven't done many twists. Especially, when we repeated in our second flow. That's about it today, okay? Get a nice twist in here, whether it's on your back or upright. I'm upright, so I'll continue with that demo and description. Left leg will swing back around. You might want to throw your right leg back. You could take a 3-legged dog. Saturday's been the big leg lift 3-legged dog day, right? Might want to do that quick if you're kind of jonesing for it there. But I'm going to go right into my second side of pigeon. I did mention if your left knee is forward and under, right arm underneath for a shoulder release at the same time. Notice I did rest my right ear either on the arm. So in essence, the right shoulder is like that, right? It's this stretch. Couple more breaths. And then the twist, yogis, would be if you're on your back, figure 4, take those knees across to the opposite side. Everyone knows that. Or you step your right foot back here, or excuse me, your back right foot forward, around in front of that left knee. Try to get the right sit bone down. You sit up and you turn to the right. Uh-oh, she knows it's time for her morning walk here. Twisting to the right here for our deepest twist of class.
Trying to sit up a little taller, shoulders back and down, turning with the core. After you're done with your twist, whether you're on the back, happy baby, or swing your legs up, if you're in the upright position, you might want to swing your leg back around and take one more leg lift. All right, yogis, we should probably get to closing meditation. Remember, the beginning was a few minutes of, the intention to become our most present, mindful, calm, self-aware, a different mind and body state than normal conscious mind. So all day in your life, you're kind of looking around at things and busy thinking a lot. So we're trying to just settle all that down for a few minutes and to exist in a different mental, emotional, physical state than normal. Right? Rather than explaining what it is, I try to explain what it isn't. It's not your normal mind state. Okay. So either laying or seated, a deep breath or two to enter, and letting your lungs relax also, and just kind of sitting in peace. The yogis often say, you're not the doer anymore, you're the beer, the absence of action.